Hi there, welcome to the next instalment in the Gaudi cake. This is where the decoration begins. We're going to build the cake bottom to top, so this is the bottom tier. And I have started with a blue sugar paste base to give the grouting lines, if you like, for all the stenciling work. And the stencil is going to act like tiles on the side of the cake. So the stencil I've went for is this one. And it's an Evil Cake Genius stencil. It's Ottavio and it's beautiful, and it's a nice easy one to use because the stencil really hugs the side of the cake really nicely when you're applying the royal icing. So it's one of the easier ones to use. I would recommend it. So the stenciling went on the cake quite nicely, but there's still a couple of things I want to do to just change the finish a little bit. When I mixed up the royal icing to put on the stencil, I just think I mixed it just a little tiny bit on the thick side. It's great, the patterns came out really well. There's no icing at all ran underneath any of the stencil lines. It's turned out lovely, but except you'll see if I manage to zoom in that on some of the white, you'll see I've managed to scrape away a little bit too much of the royal icing when I was using my scraper round. And because the icing's quite thick, a wee bit thicker than what it should be, it's left us a little bit patchy in some places. And also you can see the marks of the tulle which gets applied on top of the stencil. You can see those a wee bit more pronounced than if the icing had been a little bit more on the thin side. It's actually okay, I could leave it like that, but I'm going to change it a little bit. So this is a close-up of the cake, and you'll see the stencil in nice detail. The outlines are really nice, nice and crisp, but you'll see in the middle of each section there's some bits of the blue showing through, and that's again because I said my icing was a little bit thick going on. And it would be fine to leave, but what I'm going to do is touch it up. So I have got some white petal dust, and I don't know even if my phone is showing that in reverse or back to front. I suspect it's showing things as a mirror image, but this is the fractal colours in white snow dust, but any dust would do. I'm not going to use super white because that'll make it look too bright, even though there's a little bit of super white in the stencil. And I'm going to use some clear alcohol and just paint over each section, and that'll get rid of the blue background. So I'll do a couple. And you see the blues disappearing, and it just gives a bit of a better finish. So next time the rule would be check the consistency of the icing first. I'm apt just to shove it straight on the cake without checking it. I'll just do one more, and then I'll maybe time lapse the rest because I'll be here forever doing the whole lot right now. This is a bit of an awkward painting angle, just so the camera can see. There, and hopefully you'll be able to see the difference that makes as compared with all the other little bits round about where you can see the blue through. So I'll carry on and paint the rest and do a time lapse. So the next thing we're going to do is make some little diamonds, and this is to fill in the diamond sections on the stencil to make it look, point to them, make it look more like floor tiles, which is the look we're going for. So I need to cut out little squares in blue, and I have a square cutter. I'm hoping that this is the right size and that I don't have to cut everything by hand, but we'll see. So I've coloured up some modelling paste with blue. Again, this is going to show in mirror image, back to front, but it's sugar flare blue extra, just a normal blue colouring. Of course my hands are covered now. That'll be me for 2 days. So if I do 1 or 2 and then do the rest on time lapse, just like the painting of the white, you can see how it looks. What I really should have is some corn flour, rice and sugar to stop everything sticking. There's so much colour in the modelling paste it's ended up a bit sticky. So corn flour, rice and sugar will stop that. And then we want it nice and thin as well, so I've got my little spacers here that are 1mm thick. And that'll mean everything's the same thickness and nice and consistent. Right. So I'm going to cut out a couple of little squares across my fingers. Still don't think that's thin enough. Right. Give the bottom a wee bit of a rub, and that means your edges will be nice. Get my little paintbrush to pop it out. That looks good. Oops, another one. Alright. Get my wee palette knife to flip things over when they go up the wrong way. So now's the moment of truth. Let's get the cake in. Let's see. If they fit or not. Move everything out the road. Right, I'll try and do this by reaching round. See what size that looks, if it's too big, if it'll be okay. It might be okay. Let me do it my side so I can see better. I think that'll just be okay if I spin this round. It's sticking without glue because the paste is so wet. It's a wee bit bigger than I would like, but it's not too bad, and it'll be much quicker than cutting everything out by hand, so I think I'll go with that. So what I would do is get some edible glue. Just put a tiny bit, probably on the cake actually, it'll be less messy than on the modelling paste. Just a little bit. And then stick on. And I'll have to turn it around to face me just till I make sure I get it straight. Then I'll burl it back round. Okay. And I can take a little paintbrush just to clean up the edges and make sure they're nice and neat. There we go. So what I need to do is cut out 5 times however many for the circumference and stick them all on, and then that hopefully will look like tiles, and that's the plan. So thank you very much for watching, and hopefully see you at the next instalment. Bye for now.